And now, straight from the horse's mouth, our Neil Young News Report.
Smell the horse on this one.
With this week's update from thrasherswheat.org, here's Thrasher.
Hey, Thrasher here with this week's Neil Young news. And yes, the fresh wheat does roll in. Sometimes not the best tasting wheat this week, but fresh wheat nonetheless. Well, as we alluded to last week and has since been confirmed, and by now everyone has probably heard, Billy Talbot, the bass player in Crazy Horse, has suffered a mild stroke. He is expected to make a full recovery, but Billy Talbot will not be on the tour this summer for Europe, sadly. So, Rick Rosas, one of Neil Young's longtime bass player bandmates, has stepped in for Crazy Horse and plans to be on the tour this summer. And in addition to Rick Rosas, the tour will also be accompanied by background singers this summer. So, of course, primary concern is Billy's health and getting back out there. But the next question, of course, then leads to, so what will we see this summer? Well, with Rick Rosas on bass and having a long-time relationship with Neil Young, one would think that that should blend in and gel pretty well. So at a band level, don't really see any cause for alarm or concern. And certainly this would lead to set list changes, and that would be expected since this tour's been on the road now for going on 3 years or something like that. And then, of course, the background singers do present a great opportunity to mix things up. So we might hear something along the lines of what could be considered to be the American Stars and Bars era tunes that did feature background vocals there at the time by Nicolette Larson and Linda Ronstadt on that album. So maybe we'll hear some songs like Bite the Bullet. Who knows? Well, saddle up to Palomino, and as we say, get well soon, Billy, and hope to see you back out on the road. And our hunch on all this is that we have not seen the last of Crazy Horse in its traditional lineup. Okay, moving on. Next week, also, as everyone who's been following all of this for some time now, the CSNY Box Set 74 tour is set for release next week. Long awaited. So this week we had a preview track release of Neil Young's song Only Love Can Break Your Heart. So hope everyone's enjoying that here on WBKM. And we do have that linked over on the blog, so if you missed it, check that out. And we'll have certainly more on the box set's release next week. And also, should have mentioned, the tour goes on, kicking off next week in Iceland. And we'll sort of wrap up here on a blog post that we just did regarding Neil Young's upcoming performance in Tel Aviv, Israel. So if you've been following things in the Mideast for some time, you know that that's a rather dicey part of the world, shall we say. And Neil Young's concert date announcement sparked all sorts of reaction here over the past few months. We recap a little bit of that, starting back with Roger Waters' open letter to Neil Young on that, asking him not to play in Israel. So we explore the issues, we present a lot of the different viewpoints that we've had as commentary here from our readers on Thrashers Wheat, and we even present a poll for folks to cast a vote here on the subject. So we'll wrap up here by just stating our opinion of the whole situation. First of all, we don't think that any problems ever get solved or improve without folks discussing and debating the options and opportunities around it. So certainly this concert has gotten folks talking, which is good. And then we'll also point back to the Honor the Treaties tour earlier this year, back in January, where Neil Young went out and spoke out about the tar sands production up in Canada. And certainly, at the end of that tour, it was universally considered on both sides of the debate that Neil Young had really finally jump-started a long overdue debate inside of the country of Canada over this critical issue. So, given, if you will, the success of the Honor the Treaties tour, we can only hope for the best out of Neil appearing in the Middle East during this time of tension. So we say, as they say, to keep on rocking in the free world. We'll send it back over to WBCAM, Tony and Eric up in the studio, up in Burlington, Vermont. And once more, it just goes without saying, keep on rocking in the free world while you still can.